All right, good morning, guys. I'm gonna do a quick walk around of the Jet John that I've been building over probably about the last month. And I've basically got it done. We've took it out several times and gonna just kind of run through the quicks of what it took, goods, bads, and kind of where the drivetrain came from, whole 9 yards. So I'll jump right into it. So this right here is the boat. Basically, it is a older, I think it's a 92 or 91 aluminum V-hull. Nothing super special about this boat. When I got it, somebody had started the build on it, but basically just not really completed it. They did have it in the water, but it had some leaks, and so I gutted it and just completely started over. So basically that's where it's at right now. So let me flip this trolling motor down, and we'll get kind of take a look at the drivetrain. And so I've got it set up where the engine is under this cover, and you can kind of see here, and I'll show that a little bit better in the future. So in the back, I did dual fuel tanks. Basically wanted to carry enough fuel that I could do some serious range if need be. You can see the jet assembly in the middle, and basically it's got an impeller in there, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. It holds 12 gallons of gas. That gives me right at a 50-mile range. So pretty good range on this boat. I'm gonna set the camera down and pop this doghouse off. I've got it where it'll just kind of sit out of the way, and like so. So this Jet John is powered by a Yamaha, however you want to say it, Yamaha 650. It is a 2-cylinder, 2-stroke automatic oil injection, single carburetor. So it's not super powerful, but I'd say it will propel this boat probably about around 30 miles an hour, maybe 35 in the right scenario, but not super fast. But it definitely will run on down the lake. That's controlled. I've got it all set up on actually it's an old handlebar mount. You can kind of see here, got my throttle cable up here. So right is forwards, left is back, and your throttle is there. Super solid. That worked out really good. Basically I've got these, I added the seats in here, and the seats kind of sit up high because I wanted to really be able to kind of sit up and see where I'm driving, because I'm taking this boat in really shallow water. It'll run about, I'd say anything with 6 inches of water should be pretty safe to run across. So it'll get pretty skinny. I've got some storage up front in this hatch, just gear, tackle, fishing poles, whatever you got. But yeah, so we got it opened up, and we'll leave it like this for now. I'm gonna skip over here so you can kind of see this motor in here. I'll give a little bit better view. It's pretty packed in there. And let's go over here to this engine. This is an identical engine, same setup to a T. I've got it just kind of sitting on standby in case I need parts or decide I need an engine. But it's not super big, pretty small. Water cooled exhaust here. Works really good, and this engine does run. It's 100% functional, and the drivetrain actually came out of this jet ski. So I bought it, and actually the drive shaft broke. The splines sheared off the drive shaft. Here, I'll show that right now. So this is what the impeller pump looks like. Normally it has an impeller like this, and it is bolted on this shaft like so, and that's what giving your power. This prop shaft, the spline's actually sheared off. It was worn. You're supposed to grease them. I'm guessing it probably was never done. So ultimately, drive shaft failed. Had to kind of come up with a different plan. So I just decided to buy a whole jet ski. So I had basically all the parts needed. So kind of a look inside. It's super oily down in there. Hopefully I don't drop this camera in there. This is where the old engine mounted. You can kind of see the engine mounts there and there. So if you guys are thinking, hey, I want to build one of these, or maybe you're just curious seeing how they're built or whatever, basically this jet ski, you start with a full jet ski, full drivetrain, and you go in and you basically end up cutting out the bottom, and basically just cutting out the jet drive and engine mounting points. And that allows, basically at that point you've got the drivetrain assembly, and then you cut out your aluminum boat, and you can fiberglass it all in and rivet it or bolt it, however you choose. I'm gonna end up redoing mine. Like I said, I bought this boat where it was partially done, so you know, basically I want to take this jet ski that I have and end up cutting it out and doing a little bit better job fitting it into this boat. I'm not gonna say it's like super leaky, but if I'm out for 6 or 8 hours, you know, it will definitely get maybe a cup or two of water in it. It's nothing to be concerned about. It's not even enough water for my bilge pump to suck it up. But you know, I have to pull the plug and drain it. But ultimately, you know, the goal is no leaks. You don't want a leaky boat. So I'll end up redoing that. Right now it's hot season here in Tennessee, so I'm trying to keep on fishing and keep on getting in this shallow water. And that'll be a winter project. So I'll kind of showcase the back a little bit. So got a little Minn Kota trolling motor on here. It stays on here. It's just a handheld. I've got the head swapped around, so you know, I can cut the engine off and be able to troll along and kind of stay where I want to stay. You can kind of see fiberglass work is not super smooth. There's a lot of sealing going on back here, and I've had to redo some stuff just to basically get it good enough to keep going over this summer. You can see the jet drive assembly and kind of how that is in there. Got a skid plate down here on the bottom, and then this is your steering. You know, it turns, and that's what gives you your right and left, and it's hooked to the handle up there. It's a pretty solid boat. I've definitely done some miles on it. I'd say I've done well over 100 miles at this point. It's just a lot to it, you know. It's a long ways from where we started, and it's getting there. So I'm trying to just, you know, clean it up and get it in a little bit better shape and all that stuff. So it's getting there. Let's look at these electronics. So I was able to buy this little panel on Amazon, eBay, something like that. I've got my bilge pump hooked up onto it and all that good stuff. Actually this trim switch, I have changed the wiring and got it to where my starter is actually hooked straight to that. I don't have trim on this boat, so I didn't have a reason for a trim switch. So I actually, instead of having a key that I had to worry about losing when I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I went straight to a switch. So basically, you know, you just start it up with a switch, and then I actually have a kill, you know, stop switch right here mounted on the handle, and it, as well as a cord. So if you fall out, you know, it cuts it off. I do have, you know, you can't set the throttle, so if you were to fall off, you know, it's going to come off, you know, it's going to come to almost a stop immediately. So pretty safe. Anybody that's thinking about doing this, you know, it's definitely some money. It's not insane. The boat's cheap. The jet skis are pretty cheap, but kind of once, it's kind of a lot of components. So once you get it all combined, you end up with a little bit of money in it. I'd say this boat, I'll probably be in it around 5 by the time it's done, you know, 5,000. So not insane, but you know, you got to kind of want to do it. You don't want to dive into this thinking, oh, it's going to be a really cheap project, because it definitely takes a little money to get them right. A lot of time, a lot of custom work. I've had, just on this boat in the month I've had it, I've replaced the carburetor, the coil pack, impeller, drive shaft, exhaust, basically all the major components. Now, I bought one in really bad shape, so I expected to do that. I just, you may not want to go into it thinking, oh, I'm just gonna grab this boat and throw a jet ski motor in it and be out next weekend, because it takes a little longer than that. So got a couple more parts I'm going to showcase you. So this is more to that jet drive assembly. This is actually the cup that we're seeing right here out of the boat, so you can kind of see a little bit better. This is a 6-vein Yamaha pump, and it sits actually like this. So this is your steering cup here, and it's a 6-vein because there are 6 veins in here, and those translate into metal veins up by where the impeller runs. So pretty tough. This is plastic. I would say you could break it, but I've ran my boat pretty shallow and have not had any trouble just yet. That's about it for now. I'm going to be throwing up some more videos out in this boat. We took it out yesterday. I did not get a chance to video, just trying to make sure it all works good, and it did good. I did actually beach it out pretty hard yesterday. Thought I could make it through a shallow area. Turns out it was about 1 inch deep, so I bottomed out. Didn't hurt anything. I jumped a couple logs, grabbed a couple new dents in the boat, part of it, but it did great. I mean, we went about 20 miles round trip, and no problems at all. Started up, ran good, plenty of torque to get through rapids. Basically anything above about, safety would be about a foot of water. You could run it down to 6 inches. I hear people all the time saying, oh, my jet boat will run down, I can run on 1 inch of water in plane. Well, you can. Yeah, I've ran mine super shallow, but you're scraping the bottom, and I don't like to tear my boat up. It's a little bit pricey if you get into putting holes in holes and having to repair them and all that stuff. So just kind of figuring it out as we go. I'm gonna walk over here to the bench. I know everybody, well, yeah, here we go. Let's see, I'm going over to YouTube. So check out Project Fishing. This is kind of, this is the guy I fish with all the time. He's here in Tennessee as well, local. Tons of videos on here, all kind of stuff. I mean, he does the whole 9 yards. Basically everything. He's got his own Jet John. That's kind of how I got into the Jet John stuff. I've got another smaller boat, and we took it out and we were like, hey, and it was a prop boat, the first boat we went out in, and it was very similar to this boat I'm showing you here, but had a prop on it and a little 25 horsepower Mercury, and we were like, hey, we need to go shallower. So he ended up finding a jet boat down in Navarre, and took the drive down there, got it, and so we've been going out in it quite a bit. So I decided, hey, let me get another one. So now I've built this one. But yeah, check out his content, tons of stuff on there. He's got almost a full build video. He's still got videos cranking out of where we built his boat. He's got test videos in the water and all kind of stuff. So, and I'm on there in a lot of his videos as well, and I'm sure you'll see him in a lot of mine. So check him out, tons of content. Got some new stuff coming. That's about it for today. Just figured I'd do a quick showcase and get up something for y'all to see, and we'll go from there. Thanks.